presentation will provide an update of academic progress results for quarter 2. We'll share highlights of our growth and areas identified for focus as we move towards our state accountability goals. Laura?
Thank you. Good evening, President Zamora, members of the board, and Dr. Williams. It's a pleasure to be here tonight to report and share information in regards to our quarter 2 or mid-year assessment progress. I will be sharing progress on our 2 quarterly benchmarks. Foresight, which is a summative predictor of how students would score if they were taking a Common Core assessment at that current time. And GALILEO, that's also providing us additional summative information to guide our research achievement goals. Summative means that students are tested on all the standards required in a grade level content, but we recognize that this is mid-year, so there are some standards when students are testing that they may have not yet been introduced to. In addition, I will update you on the progress of our midterm results for students in our accelerated program. The first snapshot you are viewing is an overview template of our district Foresight results. I wish to remind you that Foresight this year has been revised and it's aligned to Common Core, yet we can't really correlate it to any true assessments because we've never given our new AG merit assessment. So the following highlights just basically show you we're looking at progress. And overall, there was a 13% growth from baseline when they took it at the beginning of the year to quarter 2. And as a district, every single grade level showed growth over baseline. This growth ranged between 3 to 23%. Also, every grade level showed growth from quarter 1 to quarter 2, with the exception of grade 8 that lost ground by 2%. This growth ranged from 3% to 13%. And again, what this is assessing is if students were to be taking a Common Core test, end of year test at this time, this is the prediction of how they would do. So we're looking for growth. In addition, a GALILEO assessment is given to all students in grade 8. It's also aligned to Common Core outcomes. The initial pretest is summative as it shows readiness when they take it in mid-August. It shows readiness to exceed and receive instruction in their upcoming grade. Each grade level pretest identifies the percent of students that are on track to meet end-of-year outcomes. New this year, we're using a summative mid-year assessment to support progress towards year-end outcomes. So that's different. In the past, we've just tested the skills that we taught in that quarter, and this year we've adjusted so that it's also summative. Therefore, some skills that are assessed may not have been introduced, and the content that is represented changes in difficulty from the pretest, and it's filled with progressively harder items along with items less difficult. It's also important to note that the cut point for what meets mastery or benchmark moves and increases quarterly. So it's harder to get that benchmark as the time goes on. Our mid-year math results showed that overall K-8 mastery in English language arts is at 63% meets and exceed, which increased as a whole by 2%. The range of students meeting benchmark increased and remained stable in all grades K-8 with the exception of grade 1. This increase was between maintained and up to 24%. I will share that traditionally we've started slipping this time of year, so we were pleased with these results in math. In fact, last year we lost 19% in 6th grade alone. So this was really nice to see that they're maintaining and as the benchmark is increasing. GALILEO also uses a combination of benchmark mastery and risk analysis to predict end-of-year outcome results. And this risk analysis is based on their developmental level compared to a cut point. So we did include what the risk analysis is. You have to kind of look at both, and work is meant to be a series of assessments that gets better in predicting as more time occurs. And really know who our low-risk kids are and target those students to ensure they don't drop off. Our district ELA, mid-year English Language Arts assessment, also showed a district level mastery at 69%, which was an overall 1% increase. And our students meeting benchmark increased or remained stable in all grades with the exception of grade 1. And this increase was between stable and up to 6%. We track Galileo by site. I know, like to see these.
Just because we can't see them.
Yeah.
Could I ask you a question real quick? And this doesn't pertain to this, but with the discussion of the state of eliminating AZ merit, how would any of that, if that happens, affect our plans for that going forward or affect any of this stuff? I hate to throw it off the track, I'm just curious.
That's fine. Well, first of all, statute mandates that tests be given.
Yeah.
So they've got to give something, and AIMS has not been prepared for the fall, for the spring, right? So right now,
We go with what we got.
it's rhetoric until something changes in the law.
Yeah.
And I don't believe that they can do that fast enough since testing is scheduled for March and April.
They shared that, it's for federal mandate, but it's also a state mandate that we test, so.
Well, and last time, I think it was the last time you presented to us was about that, and it seemed like you guys had really worked your butts off to make sure that we're ready for that, and when I heard that pop up, it was just kind of like, well, wait a second,
Yes.
What are they going to pull out of their hat now?
Exactly.
Well, correct me there if I'm wrong, but I believe that the data shows that by far the greater majority of Arizona's Department of Education is sponsored through federal funds.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they're not going to give up that much money. If they give up that much money, then schools are really in trouble since they don't get any on their own.
Thank you.
Yep. Here is a hard copy of the site results, and I just wanted to remind you that our benchmark is a moving target each quarter as it increases in complexity. And it's meant to be, a series of assessments that pinpoint needs, and the more times we give it, it shows a closer predictability. Again, right now, it is all guesswork because we've never given this new assessment, but they have aligned it to Common Core standards. And it is assisting us in identifying strengths and gaps to support with instructional delivery.
Can I ask a question? Did Galileo change the way they, the way they are calculating the scores for your district to match more with?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
So they have raised, and that's a good question. This year they've made their cut points higher. They've adjusted them to hit, so you can't really compare it even to last year, even though last year was a benchmark, because they have increased their rigor and standard to what they think might be predictability. So yes, they did adjust it.
So that could also contribute to
Correct.
some of the scores going down.
Yes, yes.
No, and also in all fairness to many of our sites, the testing was impacted initially through the online process, and that's new at many of our sites. And some of the infrastructure that we implemented gave us a few hiccups, and some of these tests were not given until the week following the Christmas break, and all that impacts. The best way to gauge what's happening is to get into some classrooms and actually experience the teaching.
We also give science mid-year, and this assessment is also summative, and we really are putting a focus on science as we know the importance of preparing our students for their future college and career. We've really been working on integrating language arts skills into the science. And here you can see our mid-year summative results overall, we showed are at 53%, and that's an increase of 8% from the pretest. And our range of our students meeting benchmark or increase remains stable in all grades 2-8, with the exception of grade 7, which was interesting. And this increase was between 1 to 22%. Finally, in that STEM, we recognize the importance, the research is now showing a strong command in math is really critical to future success of students in college and career readiness. And we've been moving towards increasing and ensuring opportunities are available for our students to pursue higher levels of math. So we have 363 students right now who are enrolled in our algebra programs. And in addition, we have 19 students actually at one site taking geometry. And Phoenix Union provides us a midterm that we give to just see who's on track, and again, help us identify strengths and areas to target, because the goal is when they, at the end of the year, when they take the AQT, if they pass it, they test out and they can go right into, if they pass out algebra, they can go right into geometry, and if they pass out of geometry, right into the next level of algebra 2 in the high school. So, as of our midterm, we had 65% of our students pass, and I want you to know they raised their cut point this year at Phoenix Union. And we had 65% of our students pass that qualifying midterm, and 79% passed the geometry. Last year, we only had 39% pass the midterm when we gave it. So this was an increase of 26%, and we were thrilled to see the work that these teachers are doing with our students. They will take their AQT, GQT in May, and if they pass, they will be able to receive high school credit and be well on their way. Our teachers are analyzing our results, meeting with our team, and ready to support our students to ensure they pass. In close, we met with our lead groups just last week to kind of go over all of this data and came up with plans on how to use this information. It's guiding us on our focus and where they will put forth their efforts in their short-term plans before we head into AZ Merit. Any questions, or this concludes the study session? Thank you. Yes, I did hear today, speaking about that evening, that they're looking into, when they do revise, the accountability that these advanced math classes will be part of that formula. So it's very critical that we are putting our students in the course.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.